It's all Derpy's fault.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Yeah, welcome back to the show. This is the Two Dum Yinzers episode 389. You know what? I can't wait to see. Derpy just brought this up, and I really wasn't even thinking about it. But the Little League World Series is still going on. Well, apparently, Derpy says the Little League World Series is going on today.
The championships.
Derpy, who's in? I don't even know who's in. Who's in the championship?
International starts at 12:30, which is Caraco in Taiwan, I believe.
Okay.
Chinese. Yeah, Taiwan. And the American is Texas and California.
Yeah. All right. Tell me when the two teams that are playing, the two best teams.
That's tomorrow.
Because that's the game I like to watch. That's the game that the 30-year-olds get to, and I like to watch that game because
that's the World Series championship, like the actual one, the actual game.
You know how
that's
they're always
Sunday.
Trying to beat the system and get these kids in, and they're like, in their late 30s to play in this Little League World Series. So these are the kids I want to see play. These are the ones with all the talent.
Yeah, I want to see Danny Almonte out there still pitching.
What's the Derpy? How far is the outfield fence? Like, if you were to hit a home run in Little League World Series, what's the distance on that fence? Do you know?
I'm not too sure, but that hill is so cool. That park is so monumental in Pennsylvania in one sport.
I just remember when I was a kid that Little League was 200 feet to the center field fence, and that's not far at all. Like I was thinking of that as I got older, and I thought, gee, and I was wondering if it's the same thing, if these kids have to hit the ball further. I just don't know. Again, Derpy says the World Series is this weekend.
I don't know. I don't know what it is about the Little League World Series. I see a lot of sports people they amped and pumped about it.
Yeah, I can't get amped.
It's never done anything to me. It's about watching little kids play sports.
Yeah.
To me, it's kind of creepy that a bunch of grown ass men are going out to watch little kids who aren't their own play sports.
Right.
To me, that's creepy. I like watching sports, but when they're kids, if they're not mine, I don't care about them. It means nothing to me. I find it the whole event creepy. It's televised. You're watching these 9-10-year-olds cry and be like, "Oh, look at that! Isn't that cute?" Yeah, I feel bad for these kids. They're on national TV, bawling their eyes out because they lost, and it's just I just find the whole thing weird and creepy. And kids' sports commercialized. It's never sat right with me.
I never got into this. I've seen it before with this Little League World Series. I have nothing against it. I'm not like Mike in this sense. I like high school. I like high school football a lot. I do watch that. As a matter of fact, I was just telling Derpy before we got on, my high school, my alma mater that I went to, they went to Ohio and played this team near Youngstown. And this is something that I think that they should do more in high school. I think that the teams that they're successful from each class should play. Let's say somebody wins the state championship. Let's say, for example, Aliquip, because everyone knows them. Say they win the state championship, they should go into a pool of 25 other or 49 other teams and have a big tournament to see who's actually the best. I think that would be really cool for football. Now, you notice, in preseason, a lot of these scrimmage games, you get this team from Louisiana, they play this team from Texas. You get this team from New Jersey that plays this team from wherever. I'd like to see more of that. But local teams around here generally don't do that. But high school football is such a big thing to people around here. And I think that could be a really cool thing. And, that put things into perspective, because if you're from Pennsylvania and you think, oh, wow, these guys are really, really good on my team. But then you play a team from Florida and you're like, oh, wow, that can help the kids out in a sense. It could make them play better and say, we thought we were good, but we could be this much better. Because I've always thought that should have been a thing.
The thing is, every state has different rules.
I mean, you can generalize it.
Football.
I know, but some states have. If you're up 30, they roll the clock.
Yeah, we have 35. I think.
Yeah. That could be worked out.
Just make one standard time for the whole entire tournament for the and make everybody abide by. California would abide by.
That would be kind of rough though for a team like Aliquippa, who has 30 kids going up against teams that have 70, 80 deep.
Do it in your conference, your size.
Yeah.
Make double A play the double A. Make the And I'd say probably exclude Hawaii and Alaska.
The
because I'm
freak
sure-
states.
Yeah,
The two
if-
that are out there that no one
I mean, if
cares
they
about.
wanted to try, they can, but I mean, you can't expect
Yeah.
somebody to come from clear up in Alaska to play football. But I thought that would be cool because my alma mater went to play a team in Ohio yesterday. I thought it was really cool. Apparently, this team is pretty good that we played, came down to the wire. We scored and then went for 2 to win the game, and they won the game instead of tied it. So I would like to see more of this when it is on ESPN. I do watch these good teams play state to state games. So that is Little League World Series, everybody. That starts this weekend if you're into that. Also, the guys were bringing to my attention, there is some college ball today. You got Notre Dame and Navy going at it. I think USC's back at it today. A couple teams like this, but football's here, fellas.
Like, real quick, does anyone really care about Notre Dame? I know
No.
they're
No.
somehow ranked 13th. I don't get it. To me, it's just like the nostalgia factor. Like, oh, it's Notre Dame. They're good. We're gonna
25.
rank them. They haven't done anything in forever. I
They
just
shouldn't
don't
even
get
be
it.
in the 25.
Yeah, like,
Yep.
yeah, you play Army, Navy, Air Force every year. That's 3 automatic wins. People want to make fun of like the SEC for their week schedules. Come on.
Yeah.
At least, like the SEC, the Big Ten, you have really good teams that you play. Notre
Why
Dame,
is there-
they'll play USC once a year, and that's it. I just
Yeah.
don't get Notre Dame.
Why
They're
is
so
their
overhyped.
strength of schedule never brought to attention when everyone's talking about how great Notre Dame is? Because you're right, it's a mix and match
It's
schedule.
money.
Here it is: Navy, Tennessee State, NC State, Central Michigan, Ohio State. Okay, cool. Duke, Louisville, USC, Pitt, Clemson, Wake Forest, Stanford. It's just garbage.
Yeah,
It's meh.
it's man.
Garbage.
It's meh.
I'm pretty mad over that.
Garbage.
1 or 2 games, meh.
You know what? They could lose. They could lose those couple games if they, they
Yeah.
could lose to Ohio State. They could lose to Pitt. They
Because,
could,
like,
I mean,
Ohio State,
and I hope they do.
like Ohio State, USC, their preseason rank 6-3, Clemson 9. Okay, but that's preseason rankings. You know how
We
it's
have,
gonna go.
we have an
but,
amazing past against Notre Dame. We actually beat them a lot.
yeah, so does like Pitt and Penn State just they love playing Notre Dame
Yeah.
just to show come to a real conference.
Like
Yeah.
I did
what
see.
happens.
Let me see if I can't pull it up here.
That's why we're on CBS this year.
If I don't have it in front of me, I'll drop it. But
We're the real conference.
I did see this. Let me. Here it is. Penn. Now I'm not stabbing or anything. This is just something that I picked up. Penn
Yeah.
State football's academics is the worst in the Big Ten.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Like,
I,
hey, when we
You said
were
academics?
yes.
our players. Like,
I
I tell you what,
wouldn't be
when we were protecting when we were protecting pedophiles, we put education first.
Yeah.
See what happened, guys? You got rid of the pedophiles.
the hell are they doing over there?
Education drops. Oh, I feel dirty saying that, but
You
it's
get,
just weird. Penn State used to be really good about academics. Like it was like a point of pride. Like they had one of the best graduation rates, one of the best. Now it's just like, man, we're just like every other school. We're gonna be a football factory. It's
Yeah.
just comical.
They are worse than every other school. You know
I
what?
know,
The
I saw
further you
that,
get
I'm
away
like, are
from
you
city
serious?
life and you send your people out into the middle of nowhere, that's what you get.
Well,
they're inbreds out there, Mike.
Penn State's a party. Penn State likes to party.
Mm.
When you
They-
go to a
I
party
will
school, you
admit
tend
they
to,
like to party.
they like the party.
Oh, these guys are totally decorated. You ought to see their football uniforms.
They like the party. Hey, what we do with wildlife animals
This
out
is
on
a
the
di-
trail, that's our own business out there, Creepy Valley. Okay. Hey, I just care about the football product they put on the field. I never cared about the kids' education.
Riverhounds,
Sound like such a creep saying that. F them
Riverhounds
kids.
versus
Terrible,
San
Mike.
Hey,
Antonio
I'm a parent.
tonight.
F them kids.
Soccer Riverhounds. It's versus San Antonio tonight, 9:00. The Hounds back at it, guys. Also, I do want to touch on baseball just briefly, just because I
Why are
feel
you gonna torture
obligated.
us with this?
I feel obligated. You know what I mean? Some days
You're
I don't
the
even
only
talk
you're the
about this.
only one on the show who feels obligated to talk about
Well,
the Pirates.
I know, but there's people that like the Pirates.
I know, but
But
it's
are they
before
really
These
season.
hopeless romantics.
And I don't think
Are
any
they
any,
really
any
will watch till the
Pittsburgh.
very end of the season, convincing themselves that this team will finish 500 or better, or
Like, do
go to the
they
playoffs.
count? Do they count?
I
as
don't
people?
think any
They
Pittsburgh
do.
fan is looking
They
forward
count
to
as
listen to the
people.
Pirates.
Not only do they count as people, they are probably more educated than Penn State's football team. But hey,
that's fair point. Fair point.
Hey, we win games. Hey, C's get degrees, boys. C's get degrees. That's the new Penn State motto. It's no longer we are Penn State. It's C's get
that school's
degrees.
Turning really weird. It's getting really
degrees.
Creepy out there. Happy Valley, come on.
You know what's
guys,
happy? You see what happens out on the chemtrails out there, baby.
I don't want to know what they're doing out there. Believe me.
Hey,
Pirates beat the Cubs last night, 2-1. They their record is now 58-71. 58-71.
Raise the Jolly Roger. We improved by like
the Cubs,
3 games.
They're 67-61. Mitch Keller throws a gem, guys. He goes 8 innings, only gives up 4 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, and 6 Ks. Bednar gives up a run in the 9th inning, although he's still 1 inning pitched, 1 hit, 1 earned run, no walks, 1 K. He gets the save. Brian Hayes goes 2 for 3 with a walk and a run. Big Stacks goes 1 for 4. Today's game is game 3 of 4 at 7:15. Probables are Colin Selby, who's 1-0 for the Pirates with a 7.27 ERA and 13 Ks on the season, versus Javier Assad, who is 2-2 with a 3.13 in 53 strikeouts on the season.
Like Javier Assad. Every time I hear Assad, I always think of who was it? The guy over from Beirut. Assad. I'm a politics junkie, so Assad. Every time I hear, I think, what's a foreign leader doing out here pitching?
Maybe he's from Penn State. He's confused.
Yeah, hey, hey, at least we moved to animals, okay?
All right. You do your animals over there.
It's so depressing being a Penn State fan. I'm just a fan of the.
I tell you what, I give you that. You're putting up with all the everything that comes with being a Penn State fan anymore. So I do give you that. That's that's respectable in some kind of way.
Like my dad went to the university in the like 60s, 70s. So that's all, that's the only tie I really have to it. He also went to Pitt too. He bounced around between both of them because, but we just grew up Penn State fans.
Yeah.
It's the way the cookie crumbles.
There's a lot of people that went down that path with you.
I could be a secret Browns fan like Derpy.
You know what? I'm convinced that Derpy is not a Browns fan.
That is
something that he said the other day.
That's in his DNA. That's in his DNA.
Well, it is in his DNA. But I don't want to get into it. But Derpy said something the other day where he and I can't remember what it was, but I caught it. And he, you know what it was? We were talking about. We were doing that list of teams that what were each team. I think Pittsburgh was the dark horse. Yeah. When I said the worst team, I heard Derpy under his breath going, please tell me it's Cleveland. Please tell me it's Cleveland. And I thought, you know what? He hates that team.
Well, he despises Cleveland. Like, I can't believe you do that to your mother.
I can. Come on, man.
Oh, I was smart and chose the Steelers.
He is very smart. Yeah.
Oh, hold on. He said he's smart, so that's implying that Derpy's calling his mom dumb for being a Browns fan.
Yeah, maybe. If it is,
maybe some shade. Maybe
we're not the ones saying it, so I feel okay with that.
I support Mama Derpy.
You support Mama Derpy?
Yeah, it's not her fault she chose to be a Browns fan. Derpy just doesn't need to call her out on it all the time.
Some people just don't know better. They grow up there and they think it's okay.
I'm just trying to cause problems over in the Derpy household.
There's many, but
Jesus, Derpy, now you're making me feel bad, bud.
Let's dip over into football, fellas. Last night after I get home, I'm watching this replay of the Detroit Lions Carolina Panthers game on TV, and at the point when I turned the game on, it was 2014 all over again. It was Teddy Bridgewater versus Andy Dalton. And I tell you what,
Teddy Bridgewater was Teddy wearing number 50, or did they get him a real number?
I think he's wearing a real number now. He had a good game. I think he had a really long touchdown pass. I didn't catch it, but
I always liked Teddy Bridgewater. I thought he could have been good, but that knee injury, man.
Yeah.
Ruined him.
So that final count on that game was Detroit 26, Carolina 17. 2 other games that took place last night in the NFL was the Titans in New England. The Titans win this game 23-7 over New England. Excuse me. And the other game was out west, Chargers 49ers. Chargers win 23-12. We got a shitload of games today, guys. The Bills versus the Bears at 1:00. Seattle versus the Packers at 1:00. Cardinals Vikings 1:00. Browns Chiefs 1:00. Jets Giants 6:00, Bengals Commanders 6:05, Ravens Bucks 7:00, Dolphins Jags 7:00, Raiders Cowboys 8:00, and then finally the last game of the day is the Rams Broncos at 9:00.
It's a lot of football.
I love
I'm
it.
loving it.
I just love this time. You know, people can't wait to spring to get to or fall to get to their stupid pumpkins and all this garbage. This is my pumpkins. This is my latte spice pumpkins. It's football.
Yeah. And I'm looking over too, man. Saturday coming up for college football. I know we were talking about the pros, but yeah, a lot of it's ramping up. I'm just scrolling. Ton of games on Saturday.
Is that this week or next week?
For that's week 1, August 26th through September 4th. A lot of games.
Yeah, right.
5 through 11th. A lot of more games. So we'll be able to, at least we'll have Saturday football. We won't have Sunday football, but we'll have some football to keep us
for
going.
1 week.
Keep it in my veins. Keep it in my veins.
Mike, why don't you explain to us, for the people that are watching? Of course, you can't see it if you're only listening to the show, but to Mike's left, there's something lingering. Is something floating in the air? What is this floating in the air to your left?
This is the new design I made for the Dum Yinzers merch. KP to GP with a shadow of a football in the background. Kenny Pickett to George Pickens.
And where can people find this? If they wanted to get a shirt, Mike, with that on the front, where would they go?
There's a couple places you can go. I suggest going to 2dumyinzers.com. That is 2dumyinzers.com. I click on over to the merchandise section, and you can find boom, link to the merchandise store. And from there, hey, you just follow the links, boys, and you get our stuff over there. We are used through spreadshop.com.
I like it.
I will hold on real quick. Let me open up my spread shop here, and if things want to work on my end, I'll give you the exact address as to where to find
I'm just watching the because we have a delay here on the show, and I'm watching on one screen, and I told Mike to point to his left, and of course he points to his right. I'm just seeing that right now.
So if you go to 2-dum-yinzers.myspreadshop.com, that's where you can find this design. There's one with the football is black and one where the football is white, so it doesn't clash with any of the colors that you pick.
Lovely.
So if you want a blue shirt, you can match it to where you can use the white football with the blue, for the white pops. You can get a white shirt with the black football pops. It's like I said, 2dumyinzers.com, and you can follow the link to the merch store, or you can go directly to the merch store, dum-yinzers.myspreadshop.com. Everything is reasonably priced. They handle all the merchandising and making on our end. That's why the prices might be a little bit high. We just see a very small percentage, so that's not all coming to us, but any money that you spend, you put back into the podcast.
Oh. All right, you done?
I'm done. I'm sorry.
Jeez, oh man, it was a half-hour infomercial, for crying out loud. All right, calm down. I promised everybody, Mike. The only reason I'm rushing you is because I do want to talk about this this roster. I'm going to go through the positions. Let's give a generalization. I'm just going to, for an example, we know this team is carrying 3 quarterbacks. So what we're going to do is we're going to start a quarterback, and we'll talk briefly about what's going on, and we'll say who we believe is going to be and stay and start and not start, but make the cut to the 53. Mike, they got to get rid of 37 people by Tuesday. The first room is the quarterback room, which of course Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky, Mason Rudolph, and the other guy who was Tanner Morgan. I think that this is a no-brainer. You get the extra spot for the extra quarterback this year. There's no way in the world that it's going to be anybody besides Kenny, Mitch, and Mason. Correct. Let's move on. It looks like, Mike, there's only going to be three running backs. There's going to be 3 running backs held on this roster as the cuts and after the cuts happen. Anybody outside of the usuals, I think the usuals that anybody would probably say would be Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, and Anthony McFarland. Mike,
Yes.
is there any reason to believe that there's anybody else that would take any of those spots?
No, there's no one else I can see. God, not even like on us to take away from another spot somewhere to be a special teams guy, kind of like how we had
Right.
Benny Snell, but no, I don't think there's anyone else.
That's 6.
So that's 6. Derby, you keep track of the number. All right.
All right.
Let's go to the wide receivers position. Do you have any idea, Mike, how many they're going to keep? 5?
I'm going with 5. I see 5. That's
All
normally
right.
what they do. Every once in a while 6, but I think 5.
So if we're going to have 5 receivers on this Steeler team, I think Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, Allen Robinson, Calvin Austin, and that leaves one spot, Mike. One of these two men will not be a Steeler. Gunnar Olszewski and Miles Boykin. Mike, which one of these two make the cut?
I'm going with Miles Boykin. I think he's better overall in special teams, whereas Gunner, he's just a returner. Boykin, he can be a gunner out on special teams when they kind of take that Darius Hayward Bay role of, I'm going to run down there and kill the returner. I think he adds more to the team.
I'm not a huge Miles Boykin fan. I never have been. However, with Calvin Austin III making this team, I think that puts Gunner out, because Gunner, as you said, is more used as special teams, as a punt returner, things like this. I don't think he's effective enough to be used regularly as in the receiver spot. He had a nice preseason, but at the end of the day, he's basically going up against Calvin Austin III because of that returning spot. And I believe that if anybody of these guys are cut, it's going to be Gunner. But again, Miles Boykin will be around for his special teams play. I agree. If you're going to take 5, it will be those 5: Johnson, Pickens, Robinson, Austin, and Boykin. Coach likes him.
Yeah, I think he's a good player.
Now, let me
11.
ask you this. We're 11. So tight ends. Now, Mike, we have 4 tight ends. Pat Freiermuth, Zach Gentry, Darnell Washington, and Connor Hayward.
Yes.
We're not going to carry 4 tight ends, are we?
Yeah, yes, we are.
You think that we'll move forward with all 4 of these?
Yeah, because we don't have a quote unquote fullback on the roster, and that will allow Connor Hayward to fill in that role, like the fullback H-back. That's allowing us to carry 4 tight ends, to where normally we would have like 4 running backs, one of them being a fullback. So we don't have a traditional fullback, and we don't use a fullback that much anymore. Why not keep Connor Hayward? Gentry, we saw what he can do in pinches throughout his career. He's a pretty good pass catcher, pretty good blocker. In Washington, you're still allowed to bring him along slowly and more or less use him as that, 6th offensive lineman.
I personally think that we're going to cut Gentry. I do. I think we're going to cut him,
too.
Keep the other guys. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
We will see. So I Derpy, I think that there's going to be the 3 spots. Mike thinks there's going to be the 4 spots that are occupied by the tight ends.
Okay.
So do what you want. I don't know how you're counting over there, but just keep track of how many spots are filled. Let's
14, 15.
Let's go to offensive linemen. So, is there any reason to believe, Mike, that any of the offensive linemen? And the thing is, there was so many. We brought in so many guys, all the way down to Raven Clark. So let's put the guys that are more than likely going to make it. Let's talk about them first.
Okay.
Dan Moore Jr., Isaac Siamalu, Mason Cole, James Daniels, Chooks, Broderick Jones. Those guys are no-brainers. Nate Herbig, I believe they don't want to get. I think they like him more than anything.
And he can play center too.
And he could, he is versatile, and the guy's huge. And his brother's on the test. I don't think he's going anywhere.
I don't think he's going anywhere.
Not this year anyway. Kevin Dotson and Spencer Anderson are my other 2, Mike. Is there any reason to believe that any of these guys aren't going to make the roster for you?
See, Spencer Anderson, he's my bubble guy. I have him and another player to where I think either one will make the roster and the other they might try and put onto the practice squad. I'm in my initial lineup. I had them trying to cut Spencer Anderson and bring him into the practice squad.
Okay.
That's where I'm going, but I can see them making it because he can play everywhere.
I think they
line.
like him.
They,
you know what I
really
mean?
like him, and I don't think they want to expose him to the rest of the league.
And also, if you don't, if you're thinking they're not going to keep Spencer Anderson, you got to remember they kept Kendrick Green as long as they did.
Yeah,
and
I think he's much better player.
Kevin Green. Kendrick Green is on his way out, in my opinion, along with a lot of the other guys that you may or may not even recognize their names. So I'm going to say the 9 spots: Dan Moore Jr., Sayamalu, Cole, James Daniels, Chooks, Broderick Jones, Spencer Anderson, Kevin Dotson, and Nate Herbig. I think that those 9 guys are going to be your offensive linemen.
Yeah, I think you're correct.
24 and 23.
All right. Let's move over to the other side of the line. I tell you what, we'll get to the linebackers in a second. On this defensive line, Mike, is there anybody that you were going into this thinking this guy might not make it? Is there anybody that defensive line was iffy last year.
Yeah.
We added some names to the ordeal. I just I don't let me give you the people that probably are going to make it, and I don't see any chance that they not. Cam Hayward, Larry Ogunjobi, Keanu Benton.
Yeah, I think he makes it.
DeMarvin Leal. I think those 4 make it easily.
Yeah.
And after that, the other 3 spots, Armon Watts. What do you think about Armon Watts?
I don't think he makes it.
And then the 2 guys returning, Montrevious Adams and Isaiah Loudermilk.
I have Adams making it because he can play all over. Loudermilk, he's another one of those younger guys that they like. They really like him. They're high on him. So I see him making the roster.
So Mike has. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 defensive linemen. The only one that we don't have surviving this cut is Armon Watts. Again, there's other people. Yes, please.
I have Fehoko making it.
You got Fehoko making it?
Yeah. Reason why I came up with 7 defensive linemen. Weedle, he's from the Philly mold, and they, defensive lineman depth, defensive lineman depth. And we saw it last year, guys going down, guys not being able to perform. So more might be better. And I have a stick in 7 D line with Fehoko just beating out Armon Watts for that final spot. Now they're not going to dress them all every game, obviously, but I think he provides better depth than Armon Watts.
All right. So mark down 7 spots then, Derpy. 7 spots.
Okay. So 32, 31.
All right. Inside linebackers, all depending on what we're going to carry. I think the 4 that I just can't get enough of these guys. The easy 4: Quan, E-Rob, Cole Holcomb, Mark Robinson. Depending on what you think about Tanner Muse, who's had a really good preseason.
He's the one I had between him and Spencer Anderson. Those were my 2. Like, we take the extra lineman, or do we take the Tanner Muse for special teams? Right. It was a toss up for me.
I think that we know for sure they're going to carry 4, probably 5, just to be safe. So
I think if they keep Spencer Anderson like we did, I think they're only going 4 inside linebackers.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe. All right, so mark that 4 up, Derpy. Mark that as 4. Cole Holcomb, Alexander, E-Rob, and Robinson.
36 and 35.
All right, we're getting down to it here, guys. Let's get down to the outside linebackers. There's 4 that are going to make it. There's 4 that's going to make it. There's 4 that it's any good. There's 4 that's significant. I can't even think if there's any beyond this.
I think that's about it.
Alex Highsmith, TJ Watt, Marcus Golden, and Nick Herbig. What an improved linebackers situation overall compared to last year. We were
It's-
we were down to two guys on the outside that were worth anything. Malik Reed was your replacement.
Oh my God.
We had Miles Jack and Devin Bush, and not really anything else going on. Robert Spillane. I mean, I didn't hate the guy, but we really went out and got depth at these linebacker positions, and I think that's going to go so far for this football team. So Derby, mark those 4 positions down: Highsmith, Watt,
40 and
Herdigan.
39.
40 and
is
39.
39
Mike
and
is
40.
40.
All right.
I like Derby's math. 40 and 39.
We're going to stop off at the safety position. Mike, here's where I need your opinion. I believe easily that it's going to be Minka, KZ, Keanu Neal, and you're going to need another safety to stay, Mike. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Miles Killebrew? Is it going to be who is it? There's got to be one more safety.
Okay. Go through your 4 again. You said Minka, Kazee, Neal.
Minka, Kazee, Neal are my 3 for sure.
Yeah.
And I need to know who the 4th is going to be.
Oh, you're going 4. Ooh, if we go oh fuck. See, I had 5.
Okay, no, give them to me. Might be 5. I think you're going 4 for sure.
Because I went Norwood and Killebrew. Killebrew definitely 4. He's the special teams captain. I think he's really underrated on the.
We could do 5.
Teams.
I'm just saying we know it's going to be 4.
Yeah, because Trey Norwood, you can move him around. You know, corner, safety, and they seem to like him. Those are the 5 I'm going with, and I think they want depth back there, especially with like Kazee and Neal with like their injury concerns. But I think you want to go 1 more. You want to have 5.
So Derpy, mark those 5 down, would you?
45. 44.
All right, let's go over to the cornerbacks. 45 and 44 guys. We're down to 10 spots. At the cornerback position, obviously, ain't going anywhere. Patrick Peterson.
Yes.
Joey Porter Jr.
Yes.
Levi Wallace.
Yes.
Then everybody else. We have Elijah Riley. We have Shandon Sullivan. We have James Pierre. You can't, and I don't remember if he's a safety or a corner, but that Trenton Thompson, man, he had a really good off.
Thompson, he's a safety, so he was he just made the cut on my list.
Did he had a really good preseason, I thought. But as far as these cornerbacks go, Mike, how many do you think they're going to carry? You got to remember Corey Trice Jr. is not on the roster. He is hurt. Do you carry what, 5, 6? How many?
6. I think 6.
I'd say 6
because Peterson, Porter, Wallace, obviously.
Right.
We have Elijah Riley and Sullivan. Riley, he was playing a lot of the slot. Sullivan, he can bounce around, and then James Pierre to be the guy who can come in on the outside. Like if one of the guys goes down, if Peterson goes down or Porter or Wallace goes down, he can sub into their spot on the outside. We've seen him do it.
So Derby, what Mike is saying, and I think we agree, Joey Porter Jr., Levi Wallace, Patrick Peterson, Shandon Sullivan, Elijah Riley, and James Pierre. Is that correct, Mike?
Yes.
Yes.
So that's 6. So what's that, 50?
50 for me and you, Ryan, and then 51, I believe, for Mike.
Okay. Chris Boswell is going to be the kicker.
Yep.
Mark it. There's no need for conversation. Presley Harvin, the 3rd, takes the punter spot.
I think so. Yeah. He kicked like his life depended on it.
And I think that's why they brought in Braden Mann. I wanted them. I think that they thought to themselves, if we bring a guy in who's somewhat a competitor for Harvin, he is going to kick like his career depends on it.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. That's what he did. There's about 3 teams that have their eye on Mann. I think that he's going to be elsewhere punting the ball away, but I do believe Presley Harvin will be the Pittsburgh Steelers punter this year. And I think ultimately that's what the team wanted. So mark him down as our punter. Derpy.
52. 51.
Christian Kuntz.
Christian Kuntz, the only home snapper on the roster.
The only snapper. He's from Chartiers Valley.
No way.
Chartiers Valley. So mark him. He's not going anywhere. If he goes, we're going to be in big trouble because maybe we get James Harrison to come back and snap for special teams.
My God, that was scary.
So that's 53.
So that's 53.
And 52.
No, I have a 53-man roster right here. I read mine verbatim.
Okay.
Well, you were 53, and I'm at 52. It's supposed to be 54 because they added the position for the quarterback. Mike, is there anybody on this team that you would throw on at the end? Somebody that might have got through that we didn't take. Is there anybody that you would keep to round out your roster?
Well, then, because I had Spencer Anderson and Tanner Muse cutting one or the other. I'd keep Anderson and Muse both, and then that gets me up to that spot. If we can use that spot for a position player, I can't remember that rule because I remember what you're talking about. Does it have to be used on a quarterback?
Yeah, they added that spot for a third quarterback.
Oh, so that on game day?
Yeah.
So yeah. If
no, can, and at 4th of July break.
Shut up. But no, if we're able to keep Anderson and Muse on my roster, I'm keeping them both.
So what do you think? What do you think about this roster, Derpy? I mean, is there anything that just stands out? Are we wrong? Is there anything that to me it sounds like a damn good roster?
Well, Mike said safety depth might be a problem, but
yeah, I think the safety is one of the areas we are more thin. And the only reason I think that it will get thin is if both of these guys who's had injury issues in the past do start having injury issues, once the season gets going or at any point during the season. But I think that's
overall
why.
It's legit.
Yeah, Keanu O'Neal and KZ are the two that I'm concerned about. Minka, I'm not worried at all. But if you get your backups and
But yeah, I can see too, like maybe carrying 6 defensive linemen, dropping either Fehoko or Adams, adding in another safety somewhere who was cut somewhere around the line.
Get rid of all these guys because I like Fehoko, I like Adams, I like Watermelon, I like all these.
That's what sucks. That's why these cuts are hard.
That's the hard part.
Where do you want? Do you want that D line? I like having the extra depth up front than on the back end. But also too, it's like, what if like an intriguing player comes available in the secondary? Okay, where are you going to sacrifice? Because linebackers, I think we are going like 4-4 or maybe 5-4. It's tricky. It's going to be tricky. Offensive linemen. How many are they carry? 7, 8, 9. So it's can they sneak Spencer Anderson through? It's going to be rough. It's going to be tough. And two, we have what other teams cutting players. The con artist is going to be looking through to see who's cut throughout the league, who they can bring in. So, but right now for the guys that we have, I like this roster, but if we can tweak it by adding, see who's cut, steal someone, don't be afraid to pull it off.
Hey, we have to wrap this up. Sorry. I gotta go soon.
All right.
You can bounce, Derpy. You can go.
No, I don't want to bounce because
you're all right. It's time anyway. It's time, Mike. Why don't you tell everybody about the website?
Derpy's like producing this shit. He's like, wrap that up, B.
I gotta go to like a reunion with my father. Like
Dum.Yinzers.com. Head on over there for everything Dum Yinzers. You can buy this new design right here. Any type of t-shirts, sweaters, cups, mouse pads, stickers, everything you want. Dum.Yinzers.com.
There you go, everybody. Go check it out, guys. We do have another San Francisco 49ers trivia question for today. We'll just jump right into it because Derpy has to get to the reunion.
Family reunion.
Hey, maybe you can meet a significant other. I hear people like to do that. That's West Virginia. Not Ohio,
that's West Virginia, not Ohio.
All right. San Francisco 49ers question of the day is this, guys. Who was on the receiving end of the catch?
Oh my God.
Ooh, that's a good one, Ryan.
Think that over, guys. We are live 7 days a week, everybody, right here, 11:30 every day from Monday to Sunday. Or if you'd rather listen to us on podcast, the brand new show that we do every day gets uploaded over on Spotify every day at 8 o'clock in the evening. So if you'd rather check us out on podcast, go over to Spotify after 8 o'clock for the brand new show every day. Guys, the question of the day, of course, San Francisco is next in our crosshairs. So this is the questions that we are going to be dealing with moving forward here. Question of the day is this: who was on the receiving end of the catch? I think I'm going to start with Mike. Mike, Who was on the receiving end of the catch?
I can see it.
Mm-hmm.
I can see it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember
You
his
could probably
name.
remember his number.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Craig.
Craig.
Last name Craig.
Okay. Is this your final answer?
Sure, why not?
Okay. I'm gonna lock Mike in on Craig.
I can't remember
All right.
his name.
Derpy, who was on the receiving end of the catch? This, of course, is a San Francisco 49er question. Who do you think it was?
Well, it could be anybody.
But
It could
there's
be
one.
what Mike said. It could be Joe Montana. I mean, I'm going Dwight Clark.
Dwight Clark. Is this your
Yes.
final
Yeah,
answer?
I'm changing my answer to Dwight Clark.
P on the board said
Your answer was locked in. Like,
P on the board said it was fullback, right? Yeah, Craig. So he's
Okay,
also
I'll go with P then.
Are going with Roger Craig, who was the running back. Derpy's going with Dwight Clark. I'm going to lock everybody in. Who was on the receiving end of the catch? A lot of speculation here. Derpy says it could have been Joe Montana. The guys say P and Mike say it's Roger Craig. Derpy said it could be Dwight Clark. The answer, guys, on the receiving end of the catch was, in fact, number 87, Dwight Clark.
Yep.
Dwight Clark. The choice is given, but this would have given it away. T.O. was A. Dwight Clark was B. John Taylor was C. And Jerry Rice was D. I think if those choices were given out, I think it would have all guessed Dwight Clark. Clark was the tight end. P. The fullback was Tom Rathman, if I'm not mistaken, and Roger Craig was the halfback. But no, great job, everybody. Great job, Derpy. Before we get ready to take off, Mike, anything you got that you could think of?
I got nothing. Otherwise, head over to the Dum Yinzers.myspreadshop.com and check out the new KP to GP merch.
I like it. Derpy.
I can confirm the Browns are gonna Browns.
I like it. I like it a lot. I got Pirates 13 and a half games out of first place. They're continuing to fall. They're continuing, guys. This season is going to be over so soon. And as I said, football just keeps coming more and more and more and more. So there you have it. 13 and a half games out on August 26th, guys. Anything else?
Stairway to
Now,
7.
forever hold your peace. Stairway to 7. Mike?
I'm out.
All right. For the two Dum Yinzers, thank you, P, as always. For Derpy, Mike, myself, everyone have a great